Hey guys, and welcome to the first episode. Yay! The launch episode with Helen Tudor. Yay!
Yay!
So I just want to kick off with a quick story, how it come about that you come on to the podcast. Because originally you were supposed to come on in March on a different podcast with my mate. But then that didn't happen. And we all know that like everything happens for a reason and life happens for you, right? Um, and then when I was trying to book on with you through Gillian, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
I had like a notification come down on my phone and it had 1414 with you on a TikTok thing. And I was like, okay. So this is just confirmation of my guide saying you're in the right place in the right time. Don't worry, it's all gonna happen. So it's just I just want to put that out there because it kind of goes with your book and what you're doing with the ideal client attraction because we know that law of attraction works, right?
It certainly does. It absolutely does. And we know it to be true. And, since I read The Secret, which was, how long ago was The Secret? Like 30 years ago now? Something
Oh
like
my
that,
God, I
maybe?
didn't even know.
20 years ago? Anyway, since then, it's just obvious, isn't it? Of course, the law of attraction works. Otherwise, I wouldn't have all the amazing things that I've got, you know?
True. So I thought we'd just kick off with like going into a bit of background around you, because even though I know you're really famous on the internet and everything, and everybody I know knows who you are in the business world, but there might be some people out there who don't know.
I hope there's people out there that don't know me.
Really?
Okay,
Well,
so I'm Helen Tudor. I am currently in my current iteration on Earth, helping entrepreneurs position themselves as experts so that they can attract their ideal clients, not just any old clients, so that they can have a business that feels really good, looks really good, and does lots of good in the world as well, and means that they can make tons of money so they can have loads of nice things and do loads of great things as well. That's me.
that's true. So like my first question is, what happened for you to want to make the transition from what you was most known for, like as LinkedIn back in the past?
Yeah.
Um, and the 5 day challenges you did. So, what kind of made you want to pivot and bring in a more spiritual practice with your business? Like, was it the Ideal Traction book that kind of sparked the idea, or did it come in before?
So I think I'm just too sexy to be the LinkedIn queen, you know? Like I'm just too good
Dude,
for
you
that.
had a crown and everything,
I
though.
had a crown and everything. And, I got famous for teaching people how to get leads from LinkedIn. And I was really, really good at it. And I did 40, 45 5-day challenges for hundreds of thousands of people and
Wow.
had 2,000 paying clients in my paid program. And, 20,000 people in my free group. And everyone knew me as the LinkedIn queen. That was not my name, by the way. Other people did call me that, but I did, I did get a crown. So I ran with it. But like, LinkedIn is just one tiny thing. And that was like the secret of the success, right? The secret of the success was I picked a thing, I sold one thing to like one person at a time. I was known for the thing. I positioned myself as the expert. I went from expert identity right through visibility, right to authority. So I did the thing that I teach now, right? I played my own game of snakes and ladders, and I got to board 100, where square 100 on my board, where right, I've made millions of pounds. Everybody knows me. I'm getting booked for all the, big stages, winning all the awards, I don't know, tick, tick, tick. Everyone knows me wherever I go, and all that kind of stuff. I've ticked every box on the entrepreneur bingo square. And I was like, do I want to do this for another 10 years? Do I? So
Hmm.
what happened to me in 2020 was like a bit of a roller coaster of good and bad, I'd say. Obviously, the world went mad.
Yeah.
But two things, two big things happened to me in lockdown, which changed everything for me. So pre-lockdown, living the life, making loads of money. I was like doing these like I was ticking every box. I did my first million like in revenue, then I did my first million in a year, and then I did my first six-figure launch, well, my third, whatever, my first £250,000 launch was tick, 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 right? So I was like doing all the stuff. It's like flying business class all over the world and all that shit. Like literally, I was like the cliche of the online entrepreneur. And then lockdown happened, and lockdown with in fact three major things happened to me in lockdown. One is nearly not all of my clients, but a huge chunk of my clients stopped paying because everyone was on
Really?
payment plans. Yeah, and we used to have this spreadsheet, and every time someone would stop paying a payment plan, um, it would go red. So you'd look at the spreadsheet. I didn't, but people would look at the spreadsheet, and there'd be an odd bit of red, and they'd go to that person and they'd, send them an email or whatever. We called it like the tsunami of the spreadsheet, because it just all went red, because someone was like putting in front of me, like, I think you might need to see this. Like, these are all the defaults on the payment plans. And it was catastrophic in a lot of ways and caused no end of problems, because if
Mm.
anyone's had a very successful business that's doing like 100k months, like, there's normally a lot of other things happening behind the scenes that to run that machine. So when you lose a lot of the top line at once, it is very, very, very difficult. And so that was really challenging from a financial point of view. From a personal point of view, I met my now husband, and fell madly, deeply, and completely in love with him, like, which was the most distracting thing that's ever happened to me in
But it's
business.
kind of like the upside of it, isn't
The
it?
upside of it, right? But from a
Yeah.
business point of view, it's again catastrophic, because I'm, I was like, oh, I'd been this kind of like single mom, independent
Mm.
woman, traveling the world, don't need a man, to this like complete piece of mush. It was like, I just love this guy so much. Everything he does is amazing. Like, and it was just such a big distraction. Turns out he's just a normal guy now. But anyway, when you're in that first bit, that
Like
honeymoon
the
period, I was
honeymoon
just like, oh my
period.
God, I've been chasing all the wrong things, and I should just be with this guy, and he's so amazing. Anyway, so that was a big distraction. And then the other thing that happened was that, sadly, my daughter's really struggled with their mental health, and particularly my younger one. And she had a series of traumas, which I won't go into because they're her traumas, not mine. But as her mother, like, it was like there was three big things that happened, and it was very catastrophic for us as a family from a energetic and attention point of view. So my whole attention was like sucked into particularly my
Focus.
youngest daughter, where I was like, I wouldn't really leave her. I was with her 24/7, and she's fine now, which is great. But I know all these, like, this trifecta of chaos happen in the business. And I think when we came out of all of that, I came out of the honeymoon period, and he's just like a normal guy that, leaves his socks everywhere, and he, like, makes does arts in the morning, all the usual things. So that kind of like that lifted. I was, but I was planning to get married and stuff. But anyway, I came out of that. Megan's like feeling a lot better, and she's kind of like rebuilding, and Katie's rebuilding, and the business sort of stabilizes a little bit. And
Mm.
then we kind of like went into what I called the rebuild. But I came out of that whole process like a different person.
Yeah.
Like emotionally, energetically, just I'd been really stripped back and rebuilt, and I'd really looked at, it's a cliche, isn't it? What is
Do
it
you,
called?
yeah, do you think it was like a spiritual awakening? Because so many people that went through that
Yeah,
period kind of, when you go through a catalytic event, it's like it just opens up a load of things in one go. And then you start questioning stuff and
it
you
did.
do rebuild yourself and then you turn into a different person, like a higher version.
Just and then as like the business kind of sort of came back, was sort of coming back to life, and the world was coming back to life, and people started paying me again, and rebuilt, started selling again, doing launches and stuff. um I was like, we could just go back to what we were doing, but it was like we were doing the same thing, but I was different.
Hmm.
And I did that for 5 years, but I was just different. I know I was different, and I was trying to be the same version of me that I was before, because that's what worked. And it was the misalignment. I could feel it, but I didn't really dare say it, because when you're really successful at something, it's a big piece of your identity, and you've worked really
Yeah.
hard for it, and you've that authority is hard won. That's a culmination of every Facebook post, every comment, every podcast. But like, it's just like this whole thing.
I
But
guess it's harder as well when you're kind of more successful because it's like, who do you actually talk to about this? And
exactly.
you
So
can't really do it in public because you know, it's
yeah,
happening
it
to
was it
you.
was I just knew I didn't, and I couldn't work out whether it was me, the business, the whatever. And there's a lot of upheaval and stuff. Anyway, like earlier this time last year, actually, now, so about a year ago now, we had a team meeting, and we were talking about doing a launch, and the team actually just said to me, we could do this, or you could not talk about LinkedIn anymore and talk about ideal client work, because that's the bit you love, and you talk
Mhm.
about it anyway. So it's not like I never talked about it. I just talked about it in the context of LinkedIn. So
Yeah.
like LinkedIn was like the Trojan horse, really. And then when I got people in, I do the ideal client stuff and the expert positioning stuff. But it was really, and then when they said that to me, I was like, I could just feel a shift in me, and I thought, really? Like, do you think I could do that? Like, do you guys think I could do, like, we could just drop the LinkedIn and just talk about ideal client and the expert position and stuff? And they were like, yeah. And I'm thinking, well, you're going to say yeah because it's not all on you. It's like they're like, yeah, look how. And I've got to find that recording actually because you can see like me at the start and me at the end, and I was like, do you think? Oh my god, I could just talk about this all day. I could do this, and I was like really excited, and they were just all looking at me like, yes, 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 this is what we need to do. We know it. We can see it. But then I was like, shit, like who does this? Who burns all this to the ground? And does something new. And I was like, well, you know what I do because that's what I do. You know, I go first and I go fast and I just do what I want to do. So yeah, that was kind of the reason for doing it. And then once I'd made the decision, everything just aligned, and yeah, all the all the shit started happening. You know, all the insights were coming. You know, the coincidences, if you want to call that, the people were showing up, the
Oh, the
spaces, the
synchronicity.
places. It was, yeah, it was intense. It was a very very
Mm.
intense time of like, oh, this is like the catapult now, and it was, you know, I was like, my face was just like, oh, it was just so fast and so such a lot of upheaval because I did so many things at once. So I repositioned the whole business. I created two new programs. I did a
Wow.
whole new launch. I wrote the book. I did two seasons of a podcast. I sold two houses and bought one and went mortgage free. And that was all from this January,
Oh my God.
this Christmas Eve, actually, we decided to sell the houses and all this other stuff's going on. So from this Christmas Eve just gone to now sat here, which is the 23rd of October, it's not even been a year, all of this has happened. It's
Talk
like
about taking action.
what's happened in the last 10 months then happened in the last 10 years. So it's just been, yeah, a lot.
Sometimes it
It's
just
been a
goes
lot.
like that, though, doesn't it? Like
Yeah.
once you start to find, and step into your more authentic self, things just fall into place for you, and they come in at a pace, and you don't expect it, but you just go with the flow, right?
You just got to go with the flow and you just got to surrender to it and just be like, okay, this is happening now, so this is what we're doing. So yeah, like I'm really, I was really excited to bring the spiritual stuff in. I wasn't worried about it. Like I knew it would turn some people off, which it did. We had a few people
Yeah.
leave programs because now I'm practicing the occult and all the rest of it, and like, you know, because I've pulled a card. You know, I've had people say like, this is, I signed up for LinkedIn and now she's talking about God, so I'm out, which is fine and fair enough, and that's part of the transition. But I had so many more people drawn to me. They were like, oh, I love this stuff, and talking about spirituality within business, and almost like not trying to dress it up as energetics. It's like, no, this is about a soul connection. This is about, things that feel good rather than just doing things because they look good. And and it's very humbling for me because I was like strategy, strategy, strategy. You know what I mean? I was just like, just do the things, I don't care how it feels. Just get on with doing it because, like, you're going to get success, and then the success is going to make you feel good. I used to say these things. You'll be able to find, you can't cancel me because I will admit this all day long. Like, I used to say things like, I don't care if you don't feel like it. Just get on with it and do it. And like, nothing feels as good as being, rich. So go and make yourself rich, and that's going to make you feel good. So like, I've said all those things, and I've pushed people really hard, and all the rest of it. So, like, and now it's so easy for me because I'm very much like, whatever you think. Like, you don't want to post on LinkedIn? Don't post on LinkedIn.
Yeah, because
You
at the
don't
end
want to
of the
speak on
day,
stages? Don't
I was
speak
going to
on stages.
say, yeah, the thing is, you can help people till the cows come home, right? And you can say, do this, do that. But at the end of the day, if they're not putting the effort in themselves, then that's like not the responsibility of you. It's on
Well,
them to
it
do the
isn't. It
work.
isn't actually because I
Yeah.
coached so many people and mentored so many people and trained so many people that actually the thing that used to keep me awake at night was why don't some people do it? So actually, this business now is a
Okay.
culmination of all of my 4 a.m. wake ups thinking about the people that weren't doing it because what I did take that responsibility. I was like, well, why aren't they getting the results? Why aren't they just doing what I tell them to do? And that's really what my work is about now. It's about everybody's different. So
Mm.
I might say go and be on 100 podcasts and that'll change your life because it will. If you go and get on 100 podcasts this year, that'll change your business, change your life, right? But if you haven't got the energy or the personality or the bandwidth to go on 100 podcasts, you don't want to, you don't
Yeah.
like it, it's not what you want to do, it's not where you feel comfortable, it's not, it just doesn't, you can force yourself to do it and it will make a change, but you won't enjoy it, so it won't really turn things around for you. Whereas if your energy, personality, bandwidth can, like, for example, whole conversations in the DMs. Like that was my whole thing. Was like we don't DM people, but now I'm like, listen, if you feel comfortable looking at people who's engaging with your stuff and sending them a message and saying, hiya, like thanks for commenting on my stuff or whatever, like, and then having a conversation, and that's how you want to build your business, double down on that. Do a
Yeah.
hundred of those a week, because that suits your energy, personality, and bandwidth. And like giving people permission to market their business in a way that feels good to them is like a gift from me to me, because now I'm not forcing people to do things they don't want to do. I'm asking people to ask themselves of all the ways you can do these things, which feel good to you. Then let's make a plan and I'll hold you accountable to that plan because you decided you were going to do that. I'm not telling you what to do. And
Yeah,
again,
and I
with
guess
like
that
the
helps
businesses,
because,
yeah.
well, sorry, I was going to say, because then people are learning about themselves at the same time. So they're knowing what works for them, what doesn't work for them. And that's really helpful as well within a business.
And I think this is the thing is we I speak to a lot of people who spent a lot of money on a lot of people.
Yeah.
They spend a lot of money on coaches, mentors, programs, retreats, events, whatever, to help them find the answers. And it's such a cliche, but they've already got them. Now the right program, mentor, retreat, space, place, network can help you in loads of different ways, but it cannot give you the answers for how you want to build your own business. Just can't. And that is the problem. That's the misalignment. People can spend, and I have many people in my DMs who spent £100,000, $100,000 on
Wow.
training and program. Yeah, like it's not even that rare now. It upsets me, but it doesn't surprise me. Um, and they've just got no further forward because they are seeking answers,
That they've
and
already
that
got.
and they're looking for people, and people in my programs are like, right, I've given you a couple of grand, so you better fix all the problems in my business, like you better give me all the answers. And it's like, that's not how it works.
Mm,
So I think the biggest thing that I want people to learn from even being around me is that you've got to take radical self responsibility. You've got to be
yeah.
really self aware, and when you can be really in connection with yourself, number one, then build an offer that works for you, what you're going to sell, then find the client for that offer. When you do it in that order, you are at the center of it. So there's no point buying a program or investing in somebody to give you the answers until you've done that bit of work. Once you've done that bit of work, everything works. So you can
Yeah,
you can
that's
invest your money
exactly what I was
anywhere.
going to say. Like
Yeah.
I've been reading your book and like the way that you've written and set it out is as if like you're keeping people accountable, like you're speaking direct to that person who's reading the book, and I love it. And you really build it up from scratch, you're like, well, let's get to know you first, what you like to do, and you just keep building and building and building. And I think that's really important as well
I
because a
think so.
lot of people miss that out.
And you know what? I used to miss that out. I used to be like, well, these are the three things you do on LinkedIn every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is how you write your headline. This is how you write your profile. Get on with it. Like, what are you waiting for? You give me a couple of grand, do it. And what I didn't realize is that if people don't know who they are,
Mm.
then how can they even start on LinkedIn if they're doing something? The other thing that I saw over and over again is people self-sabotaging their marketing by basically not doing it because they
Yeah.
didn't even want to sell the thing they said they wanted to sell. Like when I would get onto a call with those 20% of people who weren't getting results, and I would say to them like, okay, what's going on? By talking to them, I could see they didn't even want to do the thing they were doing. They actually wanted to do something completely different, but they didn't feel brave enough to say it. But when I was able to get them, coach them through that and work out what it is that brings them joy and what's fun for them to do, then when we understand that, then we can put a price on it and create an offer for it. Then we can get a client for it. Then the LinkedIn stuff's like, it just flows out of them, and they're
Yeah.
messaging me like, "Oh my god, this is great! I love LinkedIn now because." And it's like it's not LinkedIn's not changed. My strategy's not changed. You're just trying to sell something that you fucking love now. So why
Yeah.
wouldn't you want to show up and do a video on it, or why wouldn't you want to show up and post about it? And when you're doing something that you love and you really believe in, and you're like, you have unshakable identity on it. Doesn't matter what people say to you on LinkedIn. It doesn't matter what
No,
people say to you
no.
on Facebook or YouTube. It doesn't. If people come along to me and say you're wrong, I'm like, great, whatever.
And
I'm not interested. I don't need to debate whether my stuff's right or wrong because I know it's right and I know it's the right thing for me to say. So when you're really in it, when you're totally in like when it feels really aligned in yourself, it doesn't matter what people say or what people think or if people comment on your posts or not. But when you're not sure about who you are and what you're doing, everything matters. So when someone says, "Oh, I don't think you should charge that," people like go, "Oh, you're right. I should charge something else," and then or someone says, I think you're a complete charlatan or whatever, like people say that to me. And then people are like, oh my God, these people think these things about me because you haven't got your own confidence and your
Mm.
own certainty. And then the other thing when you haven't got that is that other people won't buy from you because you don't believe it yourself. So why on earth would someone else
No, and
buy
people
from you?
pick up on that, right, don't they?
Yeah.
They literally pick up on like your mannerisms, the way you speak and
Yes.
get it out and things like that. But I love how like you focus on like the things that you love to do because so many people stay in jobs that are dead end things and right, you deserve like to be in a job that you love and it brings you more excitement and joy and I think that's awesome.
Everybody has options.
Yeah.
And so many people say to me, "Oh, there's nothing I can do about this." It's like so many things you can do about this. You can recreate your identity any minute, any day. You know, you
Mm.
can just decide. Like I just decided in that meeting, that was it, and then my whole life has completely transformed. You know, if you didn't have the ability to change things, like nothing would ever change, but everything's always changing, so you just got to go with it. You know, my husband used to be a CCTV guy. Like now he owns a woodyard. Like you can just make a decision and change things, and I just don't buy into that. Well, it's easy for you because I've made changes that have been very difficult in really
Yeah.
difficult circumstances. Like everybody's been through some shit. Everyone's got things that's got everyone. You know, like there's nothing that you can't overcome. Honestly, apart from problems with your health, obviously. But you know, like in like circumstances, you know, you can leave your job, you can pay your debt off, you can leave your husband, you can sell your house, you can, you know, you can take your kids and go to the other end of the country if you want. Like these things are all possible because we see it all the time. But you just tell yourself you can't, you won't, will you? But
Yeah.
it's
It's
just a
just it's having the courage as well, isn't it? To just say, you know, this is and sometimes you get to the point where you think, oh, I'm peeved off with this. I need to make a change anyway. And that's the moment where you think, right, this is going to change now.
yeah, and don't feel like you've got to get to rock bottom before you change something. I think that
No.
the most dangerous place for apathy is the middle ground. You know, the relationship's okay, the house is okay, the job's okay, and it's like, wow, you could just be okay for the rest of your life. That's not, you know, you deserved everything to be so good. You know, there's another
Yeah.
level to everything. Like with Stu, when I met Stu, I was like, I didn't even know that men like this existed. Like I say, he's more of a normal guy now. But you know, like I didn't understand that you could be in a relationship that was this calm and this
Yeah.
great. You know, it's the same with the business. It's like LinkedIn was great for me, wasn't it? It was bad. I made a lot of money. I could have done that for the rest of my life, you know. But this is even better. You know, this feels even more aligned. So there's always more you can have. There's always another level. Like why not strive for better and better in terms of how it feels for you? Not necessarily about the money, but just about how can I make this feel even better? You know, even in my business, there's things that I was doing that I didn't love, but were great for the business. So,
Yeah.
like speaking on stage. So I made a decision I was going to do more speaking on stages because I dreaded it and I hated it, and I thought I'm going to do more of it, and then I'm going to get better at it, and it's going to be good for the bit. And I'm brilliant at it. I'm great on stage. People love me. It makes me loads of money. It gets me loads of adoration. It's good for my ego. It's good for my bank balance, but I hate it still. I
Oh,
still hate it.
Dave.
Dave's here
Hello,
just saying
Dave.
that. I still hate it, so now I don't do it anymore. So it's like I can make a decision to stop doing things just as much as I can make to start doing things. So it's like I don't do that anymore, and I feel great for making that decision for myself. You know, so it's all about personal choice. It's all about autonomy as well, and the more in control you feel, the better life is, I think, and the more out of control you feel, the worse life gets, in my opinion.
That's so true. So, like, going back to your book, The Ideal Client Attraction, and it's now Amazon #1 bestseller, right?
Yes, in
Check
eight or
you
nine
out.
categories. It's eight or nine categories, but one was sales and marketing, and one was marketing sales. So I'm not sure I can count that as two, although they are two separate categories. But yes, we were bestseller for a couple of days, and we've got the screenshots, and that's another tick in the box.
Happy days. So, like, you know, when you go through the motions of doing the book and different things, um, so I've written a couple of books and I know that it can like bring some emotions to the surface. So, like, how did you feel through the whole process?
So the book was really interesting because I should have or could have written a book on LinkedIn 10 times over, right? Over
Yeah.
those 10 years, but I never did because I just didn't think I wanted to put my name to a book about LinkedIn. Like I say, I'm just too sexy for LinkedIn, right? I didn't want that to be my legacy. Helen the LinkedIn woman. It's just not the one, right? Anyway, so I didn't, and then I had I had a psychic development VIP day thing with Sonia Davis, and we were out having the lunch. She came to my house and we were out having the lunch, and we were just like halfway through my mushrooms on toast, and I was like, I've got to write a book. I've got to write the book, and I could just see it like a thundercats in the sky sort of vision. It was like I do client attraction and spiritual practice, and I was like, I got to write the book, and it was just like this feeling of inevitability of like I've got to write the book, and I had no plans to really write the book, but I was like, I'll write the book. Then the next time I was with Shari at a Maverick Day in London, I sat next door but one to Joe Gregory, who is the co-founder of Rethink Press, and I was like, Joe, I've got to write a book, and he's like, yeah, you've got to write the book, and he was like, it's a great idea for the book. So Joe became my book guy and my publisher, and then it kind of happened. But the actual writing of the book was really interesting because you do this with Rethink, which is really cool. So the card system, it's all done on Book Magic now, so it's all done digitally. But I was lucky enough to be one
Okay.
of the last people to do it in person with Joe. But anyway, so you write the book, you create the book, and then you put the book together basically. And then what you do is you just write it. You just flip it, write it, flip it, write it. So
That's good.
that enabled me to write the book in 5 days. Yeah. So I booked a week off and locked myself in my garden office and I wrote the book in 5 days. And that was quite easy.
Wow.
I wrote it
5 days.
all. I found that was easy. I thought this is the dream. We're just writing all day and no one bothering me and no Zoom calls. This is great. But
Mm.
yeah, I just wrote it. It was really easy. I wrote every single bit by myself. I didn't use a drop of AI, which I feel like might be one of the last books ever to not use any AI. But like,
I
you know,
like that though. I like the fact that
yeah,
it's genuinely you because you are like really down to earth as a person
it's
anyway, and it
definitely
shines
me. Yeah.
through.
So I wrote it, yeah, and that bit was great, and then the editing was vile. Like the back and two and the back and two with the team was horrible. It was like having your
Mm.
homework marked over and over again. So, back and two, I don't, I'm not sure about this bit. I don't understand that bit. Like, you can't use the word tribe. I didn't know that. So I was like, there's all of this kind of like back and two, and that took, and then the publishing, the printing, the cover was all a lot more painful than the writing of it for sure. But yeah, like having a baby, getting pregnant was easy and delivering it was hard. So yeah, it took me about 8 or 9 months to get it out.
Wow. How did you feel though before you kind of launched it out? Because I know like when I've done a book in the past, it's been like, oh my God, it's like all the emotions go through. Oh, this is all my work. This is how
This
people
is
are going to
it, yeah.
react.
Yeah, it felt really big. I felt very vulnerable and um when I read it, when I read the sort of the transcript before it got sent off to print, I actually cried. Like
Aw.
the introduction, the I can't say it, preface,
Yeah, yeah.
um, is just some of my best work. Like when I read it, I read it as a reader, and I was like, this is how I want them to feel. I want them to feel like this book is for them, and that it matters, and I'm saying it directly to them. That it's a conversation between us, not a book to not a lead magnet. This is a conversation, and it matters. And I really wanted them to feel something. And I really did feel something when I read it. So that was good. And I thought, right, I've got it, I've nailed it. Like that
And
was
it
kind
just
of
shows that you're really passionate about it as well and
oh
pumping
yeah.
out
I
and
mean,
helping people, you know?
yeah, writing a book is a big fucking deal, like to
Yeah.
me. Like it's a big deal. It's not just a tick in the box at all. It's like because I've been on hundreds, probably thousands of podcasts. I've written probably millions of posts. I've posted on Facebook and LinkedIn consistently every day for well over a decade. So like I've done a lot of content. I've written a lot of stuff. I've said a lot of stuff. I've done thousands of hours of video content as well. But a book,
Mm.
like it's a moment in time, isn't it? It's there. It's a legacy piece. So yeah, it mattered to me, and I felt very vulnerable, and it made me feel really, really flat. Or what I would say is when the books arrived, I was really flat, and I
Because you've
felt
used that much energy up doing
yeah, I
it and
felt
yeah,
like it's
yeah,
almost like
it's
I felt
exhausting.
really let down with the reality based on, I don't know, it's
Yeah.
really weird, but Joe was really good. He's like, this is all perfectly normal.
Yeah.
And then the Amazon bestseller thing was good, good fun. Everyone knows it's a bit of it's just a play. It's a marketing play. You get everyone to buy it for 99p and you get your
I
screenshot.
think that's a genius idea.
It's just playing the game and and I always said, oh, I'm not bothered about Amazon bestseller because it's just a marketing game. And
Yeah.
then on the day I was like, I'm not bothered anyway. Not bothered. Got to about 5:30. I was like, I don't care. It's just a marketing thing. I'm not bothered. And then I got a message off the publisher just with saying, "Oh, it's all been updated at about 6 o'clock, and you're bestseller in all these categories." I was like all the family, like, what? I was like, open some prosecco, quick! No, champagne, champagne. And I was like, forget that prosecco, get the good stuff out from Christmas. And I was dead excited then, so that was quite funny because I was like trying to kid myself, I wasn't bothered. And then the book launch party, which was only this Saturday, was really good fun, and I really enjoyed it. And I had some really good people come travel a long way to celebrate with me. So yeah, it was really good. But now people are reading it, and that's blowing my mind. I sort of forgot that people would read it and then talk to me about it. So
Yeah, but
the
it's good because
DMs are
then you get
coming.
feedback and reviews, don't you?
Yeah, the reviews are coming in, the feedback's coming, the DMs are coming, and yeah, now I'm like, oh, now it's like out there doing its thing, and the
And
mission
it
for me
feels
is,
more real, doesn't it, when it's
yeah,
out there?
yeah, the mission is to
Yeah.
get it into a million people's hands. So I'm guessing, Amanda, you've got the free book link to give to all of your listeners. If not, I'll send it to you.
Oh, no, I haven't yet. I literally did it on oh, what do you call it? Not Audible. Kindle. I
Kindle, yeah.
downloaded
Well,
it
I've
on
got
Kindle,
I've
so
got
I
a link so everybody who's listening can get a free copy
oh,
of it.
awesome. Yeah.
I want a million people to get the book, not me to make a million from
I
sales.
was literally going to ask you actually, what was your mission behind the book? But you've
Yeah,
just
so the mission
answered
is to
that.
get the book into a million hands for free, so that more
Wow.
people can yeah, learn from the work. And the idea of the work is that the work works without me. So you don't need to buy anything from me. You don't need to speak to me about it. Like you should be able to follow the book and make the work. The work does the work. It's a standalone. It's a
Yeah.
standalone thing.
And I've
Yeah.
got to say, whilst I've been going through it, because I just wanted to like have a little insight on it, and it makes a massive impact. It's not something small. You really kind of deep dive into it, and you teach how to stop as well, stop and
Yeah.
breathe and listen to yourself, because so many people don't do that. Like you said, you're going on the outside,
Yeah.
asking for, I don't know, proof, validation,
Yeah.
questions, but you're actually teaching somebody or people, sorry, to do it for themselves. And I think that's
Oh
awesome.
yeah. I mean, the premise of the book is the 3 minute practice, and if you just do the 3 minute practice every day, you change your life. Like it's as
Yeah,
simple as that. Like if you just spend 3 minutes with yourself every day, change your life. It is as simple as that. Like you can dress it up any which way, but the magic is in the pause for sure.
it really does work. Because when I do embed at night, when you connect to your heart, it's the lead brain out of the heart, mind,
Yeah.
and gut. So you're tapping straight into your soul anyway. That
Yeah, it's
holds
here
you
first,
the
right?
life's
Yeah.
blueprint. So it's awesome.
Yeah. The heart came before the brain, so it knows more.
Yeah. And it's more powerful, isn't it, as well?
Certainly is. So it's yeah, it's like it's a bit of a sort of it's a Bible for anyone who wants to connect more deeply with themselves, but it's the Trojan horse is the client attraction piece.
Yeah.
That's the byproduct is you'll get attract more clients and you'll attract better clients. But the real outcome of the book is that you connect better with yourself.
Yeah. And it really does work. It is, it's fascinating because you say in there, trust the process. And when you do and you let go and follow it and flow with it just works so much easier and better.
Yeah, entrepreneurship is not about making money and getting clients. It's the biggest self-development trip you'll ever go on.
Yeah.
It's
Totally
just
agree
been
with that.
yeah, holding space for thousands, hundreds of thousands of entrepreneurs over the last decade has just been one big, huge social experiment for me. To see how people are in the world and how they interact and how they believe in themselves and how that plays out in their kind of lived realities is what it's absolutely wild. It's been
But
such a
it's
gift
so
for me.
fascinating as well, isn't it, to see what happens and the results and things. And
It
when you
is.
develop yourself, like how far you can go and taking the limits away, it's like unlearning what you know and then bringing new in.
Yeah, and just treating it like a game, which is it is. You got to play the game, play it full
Yeah, it's
out,
true.
play it, roll the dice every day, and see what happens. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like on your book, the subtitle of your book is a spiritual practice. So, what does a spiritual practice mean to you, and how is it interwoven through the book and your business?
So, like we're just saying, really about this. To me, the spiritual practice is the 3 minutes spent in devotion to the
Yeah.
self, to the offer, and to the client. It's about creating a sacred space. Like it's about disconnecting from out there and connecting with in here because there's everything out there is just a mirror anyway. Everything out there is just a construct of your mind, and everything out there is the bit part player to your main character in the story, right? So we put so much emphasis on what's out there when
Mm.
really all the good stuff's happening in here.
Inside.
And what's happening in here will be with you no matter what. Everybody knows this. You know, you if you've ever had like a diagnosis or a life-changing phone call,
Mm.
or a day that started one day and everything changed. You go to bed that evening like a different person because
Yeah.
you've been you've been stripped back to what's important. And you were there when you woke up in the morning, and you're there in the evening, and everything else might have changed, but you're still there. So it's like when people go traveling, yeah. They go traveling to find themselves and realize that you're still there. You can't get away from yourself. And
No.
you know, businesses come and go, husbands come and go, even your kids, they come and they go, right? At the end of the day, at the end of the game, it's just you in your last moment, in the very last moment, it's just you. Just like in the very first moment, it's just you. And although we hope someone will be there holding your hand when you die, and you hope you obviously your mum's there as soon as you're giving birth, but there's still a split second where you're alone and it's just you. So like it's really tapping into that part of you that is always with you and has your back, if you like, no matter what
Yeah.
is going on. And when you can really get comfortable with yourself and get really connected to yourself, that's when almost the business stuff ceases to have the importance, which makes it then start to work. If
Yeah.
there's one thing we've learned about manifesting, yes, it's the clarity, and it's the action. So it's getting clear on what you want and taking action, in aligned action every day towards it, right? But it's also the third bit is to be surrender to the outcome.
Totally.
You know,
Absolutely.
that's the magic, isn't it? It's to say like that or better or this or more, or when we get really white knuckled on this is insisting on this is what the universe provides, we all know that that's where it just doesn't happen at all, maybe because it can't happen like that, or just doesn't happen the way you want it. Whereas when you really have fun with it, and you're
Mhm.
manifesting things just for the sheer joy of it, for the
It
fun of
makes
it.
it more fun as well when you look at it from that perspective, doesn't it?
Yeah,
It
we did a launch
does.
recently, and as part of the launch I did a lot of calls, and because I'm like back at the beginning of my business again. All the stuff I was above when it was LinkedIn, I'm like right back in now. So I'm back doing calls, I'm back doing DMs, I'm back doing all the other stuff I did in 2015, which is fine because I like I'm down for the hustle because it's part of the game, right? And it's part of the joy of it. But I did about 40 calls over a few days, and I asked everybody on those calls. And so everyone had a 15-minute call, like on the phone. So I'm just wandering about my house or whatever, or walking the dog. And I asked everybody like, when was the last time you had some fun?
Yeah. Because
And that's it. People just like, I
in
got
business, a
silence,
lot of people forget about it, don't they? And
or
then
yeah, laugh,
you just
or
carry on and
it's so like everyone's just not having any fun at all. So like really what I try and do is get people to connect, like you said earlier, like into what's fun for them and how can they bring that into the business and bring the business into that, rather than trying to think, right, well, I'm going to work really hard in this business, make some money, and then I'm going to have some fun. Like, it's like, why can't we try and, you know, bring the two together? This is why things like retreats go really well, because that's kind of what you want to do anyway. You want to go on holiday, so you might as well do it with people and call it a business expense, right? And get the company to pay for it. It's just about giving people what they want rather than things that aren't fun. So like trying to think about what brings you joy and what gives you what you do for fun when you're not working, and then trying to build a business more, not necessarily around that, because that can suck the fun out of like hobbies and things to make it into a business, but
yeah.
just think, well, what are the elements of the things that I do for fun, and when was the last time I felt really relaxed in myself, and like how can I bring that in, like how can I bring that in, like if I do mastermind days at my house because it's just easier. I just want people to come to my house and not have to wear structured clothes, and not have to organize tea and coffee because the kettle's there, kind of thing, and that's just my choice, and because that's what I do for fun, is I have
And
people
that's
around
what
my
I like
home.
about you because what you put out you is literally you. It's just you being your authentic self.
Yeah.
Just showing other people, you can just be you and do the same.
It's very difficult to not be you. It's very difficult to try
Yeah,
and be something that you're not. It's exhausting. This is why people in corporate burn out,
yeah,
because they are trying to be somebody else that the corporate machine wants them to be, for 16 hours a day, and then trying to be somebody else when they get home. And as entrepreneurs, we have the joy of just being ourselves. And the more ourselves we are, the more people are magnetized or repelled. So for everyone who thinks and there are plenty, I've got plenty of emails and complaints and, and all that kind of stuff about, they think I'm this or they think I'm that. I'm too direct. I'm too northern. I swear too much. I drink too much wine. My dog gets involved in the thing. I wear hoodies instead of looking, whatever it might be, right? I do. People will be repelled by that, and that's fine because I'm not going to change, because there's all those other people who are like, oh, I love that Helen's really down to earth and normal, and she just drinks
yeah,
wine on lives,
I
and the dog
do.
gets involved. She wears hoodies, right? It's just, it's a lot easier to just be me and let other people make a decision.
And it's easier as well for people to connect with you, I think, when you make you're being yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And it's easier for me to show up. It's easier for me to
Yeah,
do content. It's easier for me to sell. It's easier for me to buy, because I'm not. There's no, like, I always say, the more you spend with me, so the more money you invest in me, the closer proximity you get. And ironically, then the more people spend, the closer they get to me. Eventually they stop paying me altogether because we end up being friends. You know, so it's like then I just say, this is weird. I can't really charge you to go to the spa because we're like mates now. But the closer you get, the more you see. There's nothing. There's no
yeah.
Wizard of Oz. There's nothing behind the curtain. There's nothing new that you can invest in. You just get more of me or more of my time. There's not some magical thing that you get. It's just, you just get closer and closer. But the actual value in getting closer and closer and spending more time with me in my environment is that you see that I am just a normal person
Mm,
who
yeah,
is very, very aligned with who they are and what they do and who their client is, which has to be true, because otherwise how could I teach it? So I've run out of the amount of life coaches who haven't got their life together, wealth coaches who've got no money, career coaches who hated their career and that's why they were career coach. Like, it's very difficult. One of the things that I talk about is being your own best client. Like, I am my own best client.
yeah.
If I feel frustrated and I'm like, oh, I've not had a client this week, or I've not, my cash flow is not where I want, I don't look for a coach or a mentor to help me. Like, I do have coach, like I have a coach for like my mental, like mind game stuff, because she's a professional athlete. But anyway, so like it's not, but I don't need a coach to be
No, it's
successful
just
in business.
mindset, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's important
So
when you're doing
I'll just sit down with myself and I'll coach myself. Right, Helen. So you're feeling frustrated. So what's behind that? Like, what is showing up for you? Why do you feel like that? What have you not done that means you've not got the result this week? Well, and then I can just talk to myself. Like, I don't know if this is bipolar or what, but I'm like, I just talk to myself because I'm like, well, I've not done those things. I've
Well,
not
no, it's not bipolar. It's
done this stuff.
literally, it's like you're literally talking to your subconscious part of your mind and you're giving it
Exactly.
direct language to do something. And then that's what it does because your brain does what you ask it to say. Do.
So I just have this conversation with myself, and I say this to clients, and they look at me like, "What?" But I'm like, "Okay, well, just have a piece of paper and coach yourself for an hour, but give yourself an hour session and write your questions on the left and your answers on the right, as if you're your own best client." You have to be able to do that,
Yeah.
surely. Otherwise, how can you sell it? I'm not saying I'm perfect and ideal clients drop out of the sky all day, every day, because they don't. But when they do, I'm like, yes, I'm still able to do what I say I can do, and I'm still able to do the thing that I teach, because you got to have that congruence. Otherwise, it doesn't make any sense to me.
No, and it's a nice feeling though, isn't it? When you do have the client and then you see the results for them as well. Because I know you're so passionate about what you do as well, because it just shows in the way you
Yeah.
speak about everything and stuff.
But the thing is, Amanda, if I wasn't passionate about it, I just wouldn't do it. I'd do something
Yeah,
else. I just do something else.
that's true.
Like, simple as that. It's just, life's short, isn't it? You've got to do
Yeah,
something that you
definitely.
enjoy. Like, I've got a super busy day today. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I've got back to back calls. I've got calls that I'm doing for people. I've got podcasts that I'm on, and I've got other things coming on and meetings and stuff. Not my ideal day in a lot of ways, in terms
Yeah.
of, like, I don't like having a packed diary, but none of it I don't enjoy. I love all of it. So it's like, it's just, I just can't imagine. Well, I can imagine a life, and I said this actually to my mindset coach. Like, I said, I've got a really busy day today. I've got like 6 or 7 calls, which is out of like normally I only do like 1 or 2 calls a day, and I have 2 days a week off. So it's all, anyway, it doesn't really matter what circumstantially why I've ended up in this position today. I said, but, and she didn't need to tell me to do this. I said, but you know what the reframe is? I would have given anything for a day like this 20 years ago.
Yeah. So you
Anything.
flipped
What?
it over.
Yeah, a day where I can be in my stretchy clothes, speaking to people on the internet, being brilliant at what I do, being interviewed about what I've done, like being at home, like I can eat what I want, do what I want, go what I want, walk the dog when I want. Like I'd have given anything for this when I was trapped in a job that I hated.
Yeah, the
So like,
flexibility.
yeah, it's like it's not that I don't enjoy it. It's just like I'm like, wow, this is a busy day, you know. And it's that's what I mean. That's the limits of what I'll accept though. Like I feel pushed to my limits that I've got a lot of calls to do. That I'm
Yeah.
like, right, okay, well, how can I make sure this doesn't happen again? You know, and I probably might move somebody and all that kind of stuff. So I take self accountability for it, but I also look at it with like massive gratitude that I get to have a day like this. You know, and I
Yeah,
think
and it
that's
goes back to that everything does happen for a reason. Life happens for you, right? And that's how you've just flipped around and said, well, this is actually a positive, but I can work on it and change.
because that's what I do for a client. So I've got
Yeah.
to be able to do it for myself. And I think it's actually I wrote this down because I did a call before this session about it, and I talked about it with her, and actually wrote down be your own best client because I'm going to actually go and do a live on it because I don't know if people really understand the concept, but it's really important that
Yeah,
you are your own best client
that's
all
true.
every day.
Okay. I'm gonna say like my last question is like, what do you have currently going on in your business that you offer right now? And what's the next steps for you in this new direction? Because I know I've heard you talking about AI recently.
Yeah, so let me tell you what's going on in the main business now, and then I'll tell you a
Okay.
little bit about that. So my business is now super streamlined, which is great. So I have a 6 week program called Expert Identity Blueprint, and that is 6 weeks of thinking, not doing. It's 6 weeks of getting really clear on who you are, like what you're here to do next, not forever. It's not about finding your life's purpose. It's just like, who am I and who do I want to be in the world? How do I want to show up? Then what are we going to sell? And how we're going to sell that to people and who are we going to sell it to? So it's like the foundational piece. Like I was saying earlier on, it's the bit you need to do before you do any kind of strategy, any kind of
Yeah.
marketing, any kind of like all your courses and programs will start to work when you've done a blueprint, right? So that's like my flagship kind of thinking program. And then Expert is my group program, and that's a 12-month program on the how am I going to go and get clients, how am I going to roll my dice every day, what am I going to do. And that is about choosing your own adventure in business, so making sure that you're going to commit to doing 2 ways to grow your audience, 2 ways to engage your audience, and 2 ways to sell to that audience. But you're going to choose those ways at the beginning, and you're going to get really clear, and you're going to go really inside and make sure that they do feel good before you do them. Yeah, so we don't commit. We don't say, right, we're going to go and do this strategy, but deep down, you're going to hate it. So we get really clear and really self-aware that these are the 6 things I'm going to choose, 6 sides of the dice. And when we
Yeah.
do that, we're going to roll that dice every day. We're going to take action every day. We're going to do it consistently for an extended period of time. We're going to do those things repeatedly, so we get really good at them. So that over the 12 months, by the end of the 12 months, we've got a repeatable, profitable marketing plan for our business that
Wow.
works. So yeah, so that is the doing program. So we've got a thinking program, then we've got the doing program and the community and everything else that goes with that. So they're the 2 things that you can buy from me. And then the thing, the other thing, which was really funny because we were talking about manifesting, right? Law of attraction.
Yeah.
So I used to write down like 9 stone 5, black belt in kickboxing, mortgage free, and then something else, right? So now I'm 9 stone 5. I'm mortgage free. I'm still stuck on brown belt and kickboxing, but anyway, I have had a busy year in my defense. And the thing I kept writing down was an AI business. I want to have an AI
Okay.
business. Now I don't know about you, but I missed the .com bubble because I was a little bit too young. Like I saw it happening, but I couldn't really get involved. I missed the crypto bubble. I had a bit, but I didn't really go all in. Maybe I think because I'm a little bit, I was a little bit female. You know what I mean? Like it was a bit of a bro thing, and I was just like, oh, I just don't know if I should just go for it. And I also didn't have tons of cash at the time, so I didn't really get involved in it. Now the AI thing is here, and I was like, I'm not missing this one.
It's going to be
So
massive.
yeah, I'm going to manifest an AI business, but I don't know what. And then my very good friend Lindsay, who's a podcast agency owner, she's got a very successful business. She lives in Warrington with me. She came for a VIP day, and I was like, Linz, like, because again, she's on that cusp of we're mates, but now you're paying me. It's like it's a bit weird. Like we know each other through work, and then
Yeah.
anyway, so she said, "Can I come for a VIP day?" And I was like, "Okay." So she paid and she came, and I said, "Right, so you hear about Wavemakers or agency?" I said, "Do you want to grow the podcast agency?" She said, "Well, yeah, I do, but the thing is, I've been running a secret podcast that's faceless, hasn't got anything to do with me, using AI."
Oh,
So I got an AI. I should have got an AI podcast. As in, I've used AI to ideate it, create it, using her podcast skill, like expertise. So she
yeah.
built a custom chat GPT basically to say, this is the things that make a great podcast, and and all the rest of it. Create me a podcast, create this podcast. Anyway, so she said, I've created this AI podcast, and it's designed it, made it, and I've been uploading it every week to the podcast. But it's got not got my name on it. It's not got my branding on it. It's got no trace to me at all. And she said, and I've got I did a faceless Instagram account, so it's just a branded Instagram account that nobody knows
Mm.
it's her. And she just posts every week. She uploads these 5-minute episodes. That's it.
Yeah.
And she set up a product on Stan Store, which was started off at $27, which was like a guide download thing that linked to the podcast. She said, and I've been running that for six weeks at the time. Now it's been running for more than that. She said, I've got 28,000 downloads
Oh my God.
and I've made $3,000.
On a podcast.
That was my face, Amanda. I was like, say what? I was like, say that again. I was like, completely faceless podcast. It's got nothing to do with you. That's you've created on AI that nobody knows is you. You've got no personal branding. You've got one account that's got 700 followers on Instagram, and you're making actual, real, in the bank money. She said, "Yeah."
That's insane.
I was like, "Okay, this is you've manifested in front of me. Like,
She's brought it in for you.
let's turn this into a business. Like, because who doesn't want to make money in a way that doesn't involve any kind of personal branding, right? You don't have to show up, you don't have to like all that stuff, which I do and I love it.
Yeah.
But I was like, just making money. Literally, this is the ultimate passive income. I mean, it's not 100% passive, nothing is. You've still got to post on
No,
Instagram
yeah.
once a week. But come on, it's like, but it's
But
no risk to you.
compared to everything else that you normally got to do, the effort, the planning, the everything
Well,
else.
I get a million views on my Facebook account. I got a podcast that I filmed in a studio that's
Yeah.
cost me 20 grand or whatever to pull together. And I've had about 3,000 downloads on it and
That's
sold a couple of things off the back of it so far. Now, I'm not saying it won't get traction and go, but it's just nothing like that. And I was like, oh my goodness. Like, well, first of all, I was like, I want one. In
yeah.
fact, and then my daughter wants one. And we were talking about all these people that would want one. And it's like, everyone's going to want one. Let's just set
How
up a
does it
business
go around the
together.
algorithm stuff? Because that is just a pain on, on socials at the minute.
Well, every Instagram account, if you do a reel on Instagram, it gets about 500 views because it's pushed out on from a new account anyway. So you can
Well,
just get views like that.
that's mad.
So yeah, so we set up Podra, so Podra.ai, which is our AI startup. Lindsay and I, Lindsay's podcast expert, I'm a marketing expert. So we actually launched it yesterday. So we launched it yesterday, and people can join the Secret Podcast Society, and we will create them a podcast and a
I
book.
love the name. That's
Awesome,
awesome.
isn't it? So we're creating a podcast and we'll create them a product, and they just get that off the shelf, and then they pay us to set it up, and they pay us a monthly fee, and then we split the commissions on the back end. So like
Mhm.
we are looking to scale that really fast, really quickly, and it's going to be really cool. And the launch last night was really good. And again, it's not designed for my people particularly. I mean, they can do it if they want. It's more for people who want to retire early, or they just want an investment, or they want to do something for fun. They want a side hustle, passive income. So it's got massive scope. So I'm really excited because it negates the I don't want to put myself out there problem, which I've
Yeah.
been like overcoming for the last decade, right? So there's still obviously people who want to put themselves out there, and that's great because that's what my business helps them do, right? It helps them
And it's a
position.
good way of building money up as well on the side, whilst if you are like
Yeah.
launching a business and building up as well, it's ideal.
Exactly. So, I mean, watch this space. Like I said to everyone on the call yesterday, we're going to get 100 people sign up. We're going to take everyone through it for a year. And, by the end of the year, we'll know. It's
Awesome.
the founder rate, it was like a £1,500 invest for the whole year. So it's like, it's an investment. Don't don't put anything in you can't sort of afford to lose. We'll give you a year's worth of support, and we'll be in the society together, and we'll help you like market your podcasts and stuff, and it'll all be so it'll be a lot of fun, and you'll be behind the scenes of a startup. So it'll either be a huge success or a huge flop. We don't really know yet. It's a
I
bit of a
think it'll
gamble.
be good because that's the direction things are going at the minute.
Yeah,
Is AI is going to take off massively. It already is.
exactly.
It's
So
going to
it's
be
AI
huge.
is not coming, like AI is here. So like I
Yeah.
just think this is a fun way to try out having an AI led business for people in a sort of safe-ish environment, in something that podcasts are proven to work. And so yeah, it's exciting though, right?
Yeah. So on that note, I just want to say thank you for coming on. I've enjoyed
Oh,
this. I've been so excited to do this with you.
oh, thank
Thank
you.
you for
Thank
your
you, Amanda. Thank
time.
you for having me.
What was I going to say? How can people find you?
Facebook, just come and find me on Facebook. That's what the easiest
Oh,
thing to do. Just come and find me on Facebook. I'll give you the link for the free book. You can
awesome. And then I'll pop it in.
put in your notes and
Awesome.
stuff. But come and find me, get the book, read the book, take action on the book. Let me know how the book lands for you. I'd love to hear about it.
Awesome. Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
Amanda.
Thanks. And
Bye,
that's a
guys.
wrap, guys. Bye, everyone. Bye, Helen.